Hello and welcome. As we step into a brand new year, let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a moment to think about what truly makes your days feel meaningful and joyful? Life, especially at this stage, can feel like a delicate mix of blessings and challenges. Yet, it's also a time to embrace wisdom, reflect on all that you've experienced, and create space for what truly matters. This year is a chance for you to focus on you, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your journey, your values, and the things that bring you peace. It's about celebrating the memories you've created, the lessons you've learned, and the beautiful moments still waiting to unfold. Whether it's nurturing relationships, taking better care of your well-being, or simply finding more joy in your daily routine, this year holds endless possibilities. Let's start with a simple truth. You don't need to have everything figured out. Life isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about cherishing the little things. A warm cup of coffee on a quiet morning, a call from a grandchild, or the satisfaction of tending to your garden. These are the moments that remind us what it means to truly live. In this video, we'll explore 7 meaningful reflections and actions that can guide you into a fulfilling and joyful year ahead. Together, we'll talk about cherishing memories, overcoming challenges, embracing growth, and finding more peace in everyday life. This isn't about setting lofty goals or chasing after unattainable ideals. It's about building a life that feels rich, purposeful, and aligned with what truly matters to you. Point 1. Reflecting on your most memorable moments. As we begin this new year, I want to invite you to take a journey back in time, not to dwell on the past, but to savor it. Think of your life over the past year as a photo album. Which moments would you frame and hang on your wall? Which ones brought you a smile, warmed your heart, or made you feel truly alive? Maybe it was a family dinner where everyone gathered around the table, sharing laughter and stories that echoed through the room. Perhaps it was something quieter, like sitting on your porch, sipping tea as the sun dipped below the horizon. Or maybe you tried something new, a hobby, a recipe, or even a short trip to a nearby place that gave you a fresh perspective on life. These moments, no matter how small, hold incredible power. They remind us of what truly matters: connection, simplicity, and the beauty of the here and now. Life isn't always about big milestones. Often, it's the little things that leave the deepest marks on our hearts. Take a moment now and reflect. What made those moments so special? Who were you with, and how did they make you feel? What did you learn about what brings you joy? This isn't just reminiscing. When we pause to acknowledge the highlights of our year, we're also identifying what we want more of in the future. If your most cherished memories include spending time with family or close friends, perhaps this is a reminder to prioritize those connections. If it was the peace of a solitary moment in nature, it might inspire you to carve out more time for yourself this year. If you keep a journal, photo album, or even a box of keepsakes, now's the perfect time to revisit them. Relive those moments of joy and think about why they meant so much to you. Maybe it was the warmth of family, the accomplishment of completing a project, or the feeling of being present and at peace. As you reflect, remember that these moments are your guideposts. They show you what truly brings light into your life. By understanding this, you can intentionally seek out similar experiences in the year ahead. So, take a deep breath, think about those highlights, and treasure them. They're more than just snapshots of the past. They're the foundation for creating a future filled with joy, connection, and meaning. Point 2. Confronting the challenges of the past year. I know it's not always easy to look back at the hard times, but this isn't about dwelling on pain. It's about honoring the strength you've shown to overcome them. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Whether it's changes in health, shifts in relationships, or moments of loneliness, these experiences shape us in ways we might not fully appreciate at the time. Maybe this past year brought you face to face with one of these challenges. Perhaps you had to adjust to a slower pace of life, manage a new health concern, or navigate a tough conversation with a loved one. Think about it for a moment. What was the hardest thing you had to face? How did you handle it? What did you learn about yourself in the process? One thing I've learned from speaking with so many of you is that older adults possess incredible resilience. You've lived through ups and downs, and every challenge has taught you something. Maybe this year, you discovered a new level of patience. Or perhaps you learned that it's okay to ask for help when you need it, that leaning on others isn't a weakness, but a strength. Let's be honest. Life can feel overwhelming sometimes. Maybe you've felt the ache of loneliness when your house grew quieter after the kids moved out. Or maybe you've had to adapt to changes in your physical abilities, noticing that your body doesn't move quite the way it used to. These moments can feel heavy, but they also teach us to slow down, to listen to our bodies, and to cherish what we can do instead of focusing on what we can't. What is one thing you did this past year that you're proud of? It could be as small as sticking to a daily walk or as significant as reaching out to mend a strained relationship. No matter what it is, your resilience deserves recognition. Challenges, while difficult, often carry hidden lessons. A health scare might prompt us to take better care of ourselves. A period of loneliness might remind us to cherish our connections. Struggles in relationships can teach us the value of forgiveness and open communication. When you think back on the hardest moments of this past year, try to see them as stepping stones. Yes, they may have been painful, but they also brought you to where you are today, stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. You've likely found comfort in the small things that helped you through. Maybe it was a daily ritual, like a morning cup of coffee that brought a sense of normalcy, or a quiet hobby like knitting, painting, or gardening that gave you peace of mind. These little anchors are proof of your ability to adapt and find light even in dark times. As we move forward, I want to encourage you to hold on to this resilience. The truth is, challenges don't define us. Our response to them does. And your response shows just how capable and courageous you truly are. Point 3. What you've learned about yourself. Let's pause for a moment and think about one of the most profound questions we can ask ourselves. What have I learned about myself this past year? Life has a way of teaching us lessons, doesn't it? Sometimes it's through joy and accomplishment, and other times it's through challenges and setbacks. No matter how those lessons come to us, they shape who we are and how we move forward. Reflect on a moment this year when you felt proud of yourself. Was it when you stepped out of your comfort zone to try something new? Or maybe it was the quiet strength you showed when dealing with a difficult situation. These moments remind us that growth is always possible, no matter our age. Think about the smaller, quieter lessons, too. Maybe you've learned to be more patient with yourself. Or perhaps you've realized the importance of saying no to things that drain your energy. It could even be as simple as appreciating the beauty of a morning sunrise or savoring the warmth of a heartfelt conversation. These insights, though subtle, often carry the deepest meaning. Let's talk about setbacks for a moment. We all face them, and this year was no exception. Maybe you struggled with a goal that didn't turn out the way you hoped, or you found yourself in a situation where you had to accept that some things are beyond your control. While these experiences can be frustrating, they often teach us the most about ourselves. For example, did you discover that asking for help takes courage, not weakness? Did you find new ways to adapt and move forward when things didn't go as planned? Have you started to let go of the pressure to have everything figured out? These lessons are invaluable. They show us that it's okay to be human, to have moments of doubt, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. In fact, learning from our failures often brings the greatest growth. Another beautiful lesson many people discover with time is how to live in the present moment. As life slows down, it becomes easier to notice the small joys, a quiet walk, a shared laugh, or the peaceful rhythm of your favorite routine. This year may have taught you that happiness often isn't found in chasing big achievements, but in appreciating the little things that make life rich and meaningful. At the same time, reflecting on what we've learned can help us recognize areas where we'd like to grow further. Maybe you've realized that you tend to worry too much about the future or dwell on the past. These realizations, though uncomfortable, are opportunities to shift your perspective and embrace a more balanced approach to life. Above all, think about how your values have come into focus this year. What truly matters to you? Is it spending time with family, maintaining your health, or finding ways to contribute to your community? These priorities are your compass, guiding you toward a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with what you hold dear. Every lesson you've learned, big or small, adds to the rich tapestry of who you are. These lessons aren't just for reflection. They're tools to help you navigate the year ahead with clarity and confidence. Point 4. What you'll stop doing next year. As we look toward the new year, let's shift our focus to something many of us often overlook. What we'll stop doing. It's easy to think about all the things we want to add to our lives, but just as important is letting go of the things that no longer serve us. Take a moment and ask yourself, what drains your energy or leaves you feeling overwhelmed? What habits, commitments, or thought patterns could you release to create more space for joy and peace? Maybe you've spent too much time worrying about things outside your control, your adult children's decisions, the state of the world, or even what others think of you. While these concerns come from a place of love or care, they can also weigh heavily on your heart. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means choosing to focus your energy where it can truly make a difference in your own life and well-being. Another area to reflect on is overcommitting. Have you found yourself saying yes to too many requests, even when it left you feeling stretched thin? Perhaps you've taken on responsibilities for family, community groups, or clubs that no longer bring you the joy they once did. Learning to say no isn't about disappointing others. It's about honoring your time and energy so that you can invest them in what truly matters to you. Consider, too, the mental habits that may be holding you back. Do you find yourself replaying past mistakes or holding on to guilt over things you can't change? Or maybe you've been overly hard on yourself, striving for perfection in ways that leave little room for peace. Here's something I'd love for you to reflect on and maybe share in the comments. What's one thing you'd like to stop doing in the coming year? Whether it's saying yes to too many obligations, overthinking decisions, or holding on to regrets, letting it go could be the key to a lighter and more fulfilling year. Think about how freeing it could feel to release the pressure of perfection. For years, you may have strived to keep your home spotless, prepared elaborate meals for family gatherings, or maintained an image of being in control. While there's pride in these efforts, it's also okay to step back and embrace the idea that good enough is often more than enough. Life's beauty lies in its imperfections. Letting go is a deeply personal process, and what you choose to release will be unique to you. Maybe it's a habit of overanalyzing every decision, or perhaps it's stepping back from roles that no longer align with your passions. The goal isn't to abandon responsibilities, but to create space. Space for rest, for creativity, and for the relationships and activities that truly bring you joy. Imagine what your life could look like if you let go of even one thing that no longer serves you. How much lighter would you feel without the weight of those unnecessary burdens? Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making room for the things that matter most. Point 5. What you'll start doing next year. Now, let's talk about starting fresh. A new year is like a blank canvas, and you get to decide what picture you want to paint. What's something new you've been wanting to try or bring into your life? Starting something doesn't have to be grand or overwhelming. It's not about climbing mountains or chasing big achievements. It's about finding small, meaningful changes that can bring joy, purpose, and a sense of fulfillment to your days. Take a moment to think. Is there a hobby you've always admired but never had the time to explore? Could you create more moments to connect with loved ones, even if it's just a simple phone call? What about your health? Are there small steps you could take to feel stronger and more energetic? Perhaps you've been thinking about prioritizing your well-being. A gentle yoga class, tai chi, or even a morning walk could be a wonderful way to start. These activities not only benefit your physical health, but also bring a sense of calm and mindfulness. Imagine how much lighter and more centered you might feel by dedicating just 15 minutes a day to movement. Or maybe your heart is calling you to deepen your family connections. Have you thought about starting a new tradition with your grandchildren? It could be as simple as baking together, having a weekly phone call, or even learning to use video chat for virtual game nights. These small acts of connection create memories that last a lifetime, for you and for them. Let's not forget creativity. Is there an art form you've always admired? Painting, pottery, playing a musical instrument, or even adult coloring books can spark joy and curiosity. Many community centers offer beginner classes, making it easy to dive in without feeling pressured. Who knows? You might discover a talent or passion you didn't even know you had. Here's something I'd love for you to think about and share in the comments. What's one new thing you'd like to start this year? It could be a hobby, a health goal, or a small tradition with loved ones. Sharing your ideas might inspire someone else to take their first step. Starting fresh isn't limited to activities. It can also mean adopting a new mindset. Maybe this is the year you commit to practicing gratitude daily or embrace the present moment without worrying about what's ahead. It could be the year you give yourself permission to rest when you need it, without guilt. Health might also be on your mind. Small steps like drinking more water, adding more vegetables to your meals, or taking a short walk after dinner can make a big difference over time. The key is to start with something manageable and build from there. If you've been feeling a bit isolated, consider joining a club or volunteering. Whether it's a book club, a gardening group, or helping out at a local shelter, these activities not only fill your time but also create opportunities to meet like-minded people and form new friendships. The most important thing about starting something new is to keep it realistic and enjoyable. Instead of overwhelming yourself with big goals, focus on one or two meaningful areas. For example, if you want to prioritize your health, start with a 10-minute daily walk rather than committing to an intensive gym schedule. Small steps lead to big transformations over time. So, will you begin this year? Whether it's a creative pursuit, a new health habit, or a tradition that strengthens your relationships, remember that every small effort adds something beautiful to your life. The hardest part is often the first step, but once you take it, you'll be amazed at where it leads. Point 6. What you'll continue doing next year. While starting something new is exciting, it's equally important to recognize the things you're already doing well. Sometimes, the best way to move forward is to hold on to what's already working. Let's take a moment to celebrate the habits, routines, and relationships that brought you happiness and stability this past year. Think about your daily life. What practices helped you feel grounded and content? Which routines brought you peace or a sense of accomplishment? What relationships added joy and meaning to your days? Maybe you've been enjoying a daily walk around your neighborhood, feeling the fresh air and stretching your legs. These walks may have become a time for reflection, a chance to feel connected to nature, or simply a moment of peace. Continuing this habit not only supports your physical health, but also nurtures your mental and emotional well-being. Or perhaps you've made a conscious effort to stay connected with loved ones. Regular phone calls with family, coffee meetups with a friend, or participating in a community group may have added a sense of belonging to your life. These moments of connection are invaluable, reminding us that we're never truly alone. For some of you, a hobby like gardening may have been a source of pride and tranquility. Tending to plants, watching flowers bloom, or growing vegetables brings not just beauty but also a sense of purpose. If this is something you love, consider continuing or even expanding it. Your garden can grow alongside you. Here's a thought to reflect on and share in the comments. What's one thing you're already doing that you want to keep going in the new year? It could be a habit, a tradition, or even a mindset. Your answers might inspire others to recognize the good in their own lives. Mindfulness might also be something you've embraced. Whether it's through journaling, reflecting on what you're grateful for, or simply pausing to enjoy a quiet moment, these practices remind us to focus on the present. Gratitude, in particular, can shift our perspective, helping us see the blessings that surround us even on tough days. Perhaps this year you've taken steps to prioritize your health, eating better, staying active, or keeping up with regular checkups. These small, consistent efforts are building blocks for long-term well-being. By continuing them, you're investing in a future where you can enjoy the activities and people you love most. It's also worth acknowledging the intangible things you've been doing, like showing kindness to yourself. Have you been more forgiving of your mistakes or less critical of your limitations? These shifts in mindset are just as important as physical actions. Continuing what works doesn't require starting from scratch. It's about consistency. When you keep building on these habits, they become a strong foundation for a fulfilling life. They remind you that progress isn't always about big changes. It's often about appreciating and maintaining what already brings you joy and peace. So, as you think about the year ahead, remember to protect and prioritize the things that nourish you. Whether it's a small daily routine, a cherished relationship, or a hobby that lights up your days, these elements are the cornerstones of a balanced and meaningful life. Point 7. Taking the first step toward your new journey. Now that we've reflected on your memories, challenges, and goals, it's time to think about the most important step, the first one. Starting fresh doesn't require a grand plan or a dramatic gesture. In fact, the most impactful changes often begin with something simple and intentional. Let me ask you, what's one small step you can take today to set the tone for a fulfilling year ahead? How can you take that step in a way that feels manageable and meaningful to you? Maybe it's reaching out to someone you care about. A heartfelt phone call, a handwritten note, or even a text message to reconnect can bring joy, not just to them but to you as well. Relationships thrive on small acts of connection, and sometimes, all it takes is a little effort to make a big difference. Or perhaps your first step is about self-care. Set aside a quiet moment just for yourself. Enjoy a favorite book, prepare a comforting meal, or simply sit and reflect on the things you're grateful for. These small acts of kindness toward yourself can create a ripple effect, shaping how you approach the rest of the year. For those thinking about improving their health, your first step could be as simple as a short walk, a glass of water, or adding a colorful vegetable to your plate. These aren't huge changes, but they're steps in the right direction, and they remind you that progress is built one moment at a time. Maybe it's time to take the first step toward a new passion or hobby. If you've been curious about painting, baking, or gardening, spend a few minutes gathering supplies or watching a tutorial. Just starting, no matter how small, can spark excitement and give you the momentum to keep going. Here's something I'd like you to share in the comments. What's the first step you'll take today? Whether it's something for your health, a relationship, or a new project, I'd love to hear about it. You never know. Your first step might inspire someone else to take theirs. The beauty of starting small is that it's entirely within your control. You don't need anyone's permission or a perfect plan. By taking that first step, you're sending a message to yourself. I'm ready to create a better year. Remember, the first step isn't about reaching the finish line. It's about setting the tone. Every journey, no matter how big or small, begins with a single action. Once you take it, you'll be surprised at how much easier it becomes to keep moving forward. So, what will your first step be? Whether it's reaching out to a loved one, starting a healthier routine, or simply making space for reflection, know that this small action is a powerful foundation for the year ahead. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection, renewal, and growth. Each of these steps is part of building a life that feels rich with meaning and purpose. And remember, this isn't just about a new year. It's about creating a life that feels fulfilling every single day. As we come to the end of this reflection, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me on this journey. Reflecting on the past year and looking ahead isn't always easy, but it's one of the most meaningful gifts you can give yourself. This year isn't just another set of months on the calendar. It's an opportunity to create a life that feels true to you. By cherishing your most joyful memories, learning from challenges, and embracing small, intentional changes, you're setting yourself up for a year that feels purposeful and fulfilling. Here's a quick recap of the journey we've shared. 1. Reflect on memorable moments. Celebrate the highlights that brought you joy and meaning. 2. Acknowledge challenges. Honor your resilience and the lessons you've learned. 3. Recognize personal growth. Embrace what you've discovered about yourself this year. 4. Let go of burdens. Release what no longer serves you to make space for joy. 5. Start something new. Take small, exciting steps toward growth and exploration. 6. Continue what works. Protect the habits and routines that already bring you happiness. 7. Take the first step. Begin today with one small, meaningful action to set the tone for the year. Before we part, I'd love to hear one final thought from you. What's the biggest insight or idea you're taking away from this? Share it in the comments. Not only does it help you reflect, but your words might inspire someone else in this community. And remember, this journey isn't just about setting goals. It's about creating a life that feels rich, balanced, and connected to what truly matters to you. Whether it's deepening relationships, focusing on your health, or finding more moments of peace, every small step you take is a step towards something beautiful. Thank you for letting me be part of your day and your journey. If this reflection has resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more inspiration, and share it with someone who might also enjoy reflecting on their year. Here's to a year filled with love, growth, and joy. Remember, every day is a new chance to create the life you want. Let's make this year one to cherish. Thank you, and until next time, take care and stay well.